Hey guys, welcome back to Heiko Shaves. It's evening, so this is going to be an evening shave. I'm in between day shifts. I always have to get up really early. Usually in the morning I don't feel like putting on a 3-pass shave. What better time to do it in the evening before I go to bed, make my face feel nice, refreshed and smooth. My wife likes it too, you know, when I'm smooth and not, you know, this is 2.5, 3 days almost. So I don't know what came over me that I wouldn't shave for so long, but yeah, this definitely needs to go. And after I did my Merkur 41c review, my open comb, where I was really surprised that it was actually as smooth as it was and as efficient as it was. I kept getting the question if I can compare it to my little Yaqi or Yaqi or Yaqi, you guys tell me. It's an open comb. They could be siblings. I mean, putting them side by side, even putting the teeth against each other, they are more or less identical. Here, let me tighten it all down. Quick look at the side profile here. Focus maybe. All the lights on in here, yeah. So the head profile is fairly similar. The handle here, by the way, is not made by Yaqi. I noticed that the handles made by Yaqi are always pretty expensive. So the handles are like easily $16, $17, $20. And then the head is $7, $8, depending on what model you get. So you end up with a $24, $25 razor. And this 41c here, you can also easily find for around 30 bucks, maybe 35. So they are not far apart when it comes to price, and size-wise and profile-wise, they are identical. So I guess Yaqi, they do clone a lot or copy a lot, which is okay, I guess. Competition, right? So the brand name manufacturers have to be on their A game if they want to. I gotta make sure I don't mix stuff up, because this is gonna be interesting if I do. So the parts are so similar. I might put some B-roll, put them next to each other and let you guys see. Surprisingly, the underside of the Yaqi head here is actually smoother than the one on the 41c. The bottom part, the comb, I couldn't even tell you. Yeah, they're slightly different. So this one here has a little bump where the handle screws on. On the Merkur, it's a indent, but that's really the only difference. I don't see any major differences in geometry, and the thread is the same, so handles are completely interchangeable. I've already had this. This is some other. I'll put a link down below. It's also off of AliExpress. It was like $6 or $7. It's a pretty crudely made little knurled handle, but to be able to try out the Yaqi brand heads, which I actually have a few more on order. They have a slant one. They have all kinds of hybrid open comb / closed comb heads. So they have a bunch of different models in their catalog, and it seems like they're even innovating a little bit, because they're coming out with titanium machined razors. So really high quality stuff. And I already have this one handle, so I just buy the heads by themselves, and then I just use this one handle. I don't need to have 4 completed Yaqi razors sitting around. And then, yeah, the 41c with its typical, is that a hexagonal handle, very stubby, short, with a little ball end at the end. Yeah, this is all cast. So this is also relatively inexpensive, $30 to $40, depending on where you buy it. I already have the blade sitting here. We're gonna go with a good old-fashioned Wilkinson sword, my standard blade. I like to keep the variables to a minimum, so I pick a blade that I'm already familiar with. So then I can really see differences between the razors and not have to focus on the blade so much. So a little bit blade overhang here on the side. Of course, the Merkur we already shaved with, so I know it's good to go. And the angles are all correct and whatnot. And the Yaqi that I now have in my hand, since it looks so similar, the handles are interchangeable. I have swapped parts around, and like I said, I had to really pay attention to not mix it up because they look so similar. So here also, same story, little overhang. Let's take a quick little look here at the blade exposure. It looks like on the Yaqi, the blade stick out, the blade exposure is a little longer. So this might be a little bit more on the, you know, I don't want to say aggressive side, but will give us a little bit more blade feel because there is definitely more blade exposed. But it looks like the one side to the other side, the blade exposure is actually, no, the tooth, the open comb tooth length stick out is not the same. There, this side is longer than that side. Let's take the head loose one more time. Wiggle things around. There's not really much wiggle. So we'll have to be careful. I don't want to, you know, give myself a bleeding face here today. I know with a 41c it's not going to happen. Let's put on some Proraso pre-shave. The faithful Proraso pre-shave, which I really like. So then the rest of the software, let me show you real quick while this is soaking in a little bit. So first of all, you guys probably saw the video. I fixed up a Frank shaving brush that I bought in a package deal. The knot had come out, and I bought a DS Cosmetic Badger knot. This is a 24mm knot that I just epoxied in there. You probably saw the video. So this was really not complicated. I've been have it sit here, soak in water. Soap wise, or I should say cream, we're going to do the Proraso Red this time directly on the brush. So we're not using any bowls. After shave, we're going to try out something new. Gillette, the Cool Wave. I don't have anything matching to it, so I don't have any pre-shave with it. I don't have any aftershave balm to go after it, but we're going to try this out. Gillette Cool Wave, and then if we need it, we're going to put some Nivea Men Sensitive Cool. At least there is cool again in the same in the name. So now brush is soaked in. Squeeze out a little bit so we don't have too much water. We're going to take our Proraso Red and just put a bunch on here, like a, you know, some whipped cream on top of a ice cream cone, whatever. All right, let's get a little bit more water going here on top of my pre-shave. So like I said, 2.5, 3 days of growth. We'll see how this all works out here with my two open comb razors. So the 41c literally was the first open comb I ever tried, and I was immediately impressed how efficient but mild, or not mild, because, you know, it was actually shaving. It was doing a really good close job getting a 3-day growth off. So I can tell, since I'm using synthetic brushes a lot, a Badger, even pre-soaked and all, is definitely not quite as soft as some of those synthetic brushes. But as you can see in the lather here, let's get some more water. I have my little container sitting here with a little bit of a harder bristle. You can really get some lather going here in my face. Ah, more water, huh? That's some creaminess. Looks pretty good. All right, so I will try to remember which side I use which razor on. So maybe put one on the left and one on the right of the sink. Let's start with a new kit on the block here, the Yaqi. I'm still trying to work through my backlog of unused razors. Yaqi, first time shaving. I have not used it. So let's try this on my right side, the easy side to shave, and then the 41c, which I already have some experience with, and shave on the other side. So let's get this going. So like I said, a little bit more blade exposure doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to feel any different. So first impression, yeah, you can feel that it's an open comb. You feel the individual teeth. I can tell you that it's shaving it right off. I have a little bump here. This might be a mosquito bite, but I'm already smooth here. So this might only turn into a two-path. I just said path, like, you know, in the woods. Two paths. That's still a struggle of mine. The TH and the S, sometimes I mix that up in my English. So forgive me, second language. But yeah, it's getting the stubbles right off, and this is a almost 3-day growth. And then of course, with those open comb, you can experiment with different blades. So when you are not at the right angle, so let's say you're a little too steep in the angle, you're not shallow enough, like, you know, this is the right angle and you're shaving like this, it becomes tuggy. You can feel how the teeth leave a mark in your lather, but it doesn't cut the stubbles anymore. It becomes tuggy. And then if you flatten the angle out, it becomes really pleasant. Only place where I can't do the right angle immediately is right under the nose. All right, let's do the bottom part here. And very good, very good. I mean, seriously, guys, this might be a little bit more aggressive than the 41c, but we're gonna know here in a second. I have a little bit of some tingling going on, which I didn't experience with a 41c. Yeah, let's check one more time that I have really tightened down everything. Yep. All right, let's do this side then. 41c Merkur, also known as the 1906, and in some places I read the 1904. So really old open comb design that Merkur just brought back after a few decades. I feel like I need to rehydrate the lather over here. It's been getting a little too sticky for my taste. But you know what? I forgot almost. But we're also using a badger brush, which is a little harsher on the skin when you are not used to that. So maybe some of that tingle that I'm feeling is not from the razor, but actually from using a little bit stiffer bristle. I would say the 41 here is a little bit milder. There is less blade stick out, and therefore the blade edge is hidden between the head and the comb. And there is also same amount of blade buffing. There is a little bit more stubble left. So I would say if you want an open comb like the 41C, but the 41C is not efficient enough for you, try out the Yaqi open comb. Okay, let's pull this over to the side with dry fingers. Trying to improve and not cut my Adam's apple each time. So let's do a quick little inspection at the fingers with. It's similar. There's a little bit more on the 41C side. Down here, it's fairly similar. So let's wash this up just a little bit, especially the stuff I have stuck in my ears. There's some guys that can lather and never get anything anywhere where it's not supposed to be. And then there are guys like me, and I get it in my ears and my nostril, I get it everywhere. But I guess that also comes with experience. So let's lather up again. I got my face really wet this time, so I add a lot of moisture to the remaining lather that's in the badger here. DS Cosmetic 24mm knot on a Frank shaving brush. You guys tell me if Frank shaving is still a thing. I haven't found anything online about Frank shaving. Maybe I have a rare collectible. Yeah, we're definitely really smooth already. So we might only do 2 passes. Let's just go wild here and go against the grain. All right, against the grain, not upper lip. Upper lip, we're just gonna go with the grain here, but the rest of my face is gonna get the full treatment. Oh yeah, very nice. Very nice. And I don't want to stay awake all night with a burning face. So we're definitely not going to overdo anything here. Kind of like that. This is smooth. This is good. This is really good. All right. I guess I will have to do a little bit that direction because I just can't get under the nose any other way. A little bit up there. Yeah. So that side with the upside down here, where is it? The Yaqi razor. Very nice, very smooth, no problems. Now we're going to finish up the neck against the grain. So up here, this is against the grain. Down here, this is against the grain. That's just how my stubbles grow. As you can see, I'm still very careful, short strokes, very little pressure down here. This is the most sensitive part of my face. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it, guys. Again, I feel like the lather has already dried up to the point where I have to refresh it a little bit. Just a couple drops of water here. Okay, like that. All right, you guys ready? I'm ready. Yeah, 41C, as expected, very gentle, but efficient, as you can tell. 3 days gone, like that. Very easy to find an angle with too. Of course, you know, it takes a little bit of getting used to the feel of the teeth, but once you get over that, okay, and on the neck, against the grain. Okay, let's do the pull. I think I have a little bit of some nicks going on over there on the Yaqi side. Yeah, as you can see, with a 41C I can do full strokes with no grabbiness. That is probably due to the fact that the blade is not sticking into the teeth as far, and so it isn't. I might, you know what, guys, I'm going to make some close-up shots, because from the back side you can see how far the blade actually sticks into the teeth, and that is actually quite significantly different. And unfortunately also not consistent. One side is less than the other on the Yaqi. That's why I can easily scrub over my sensitive area here and have no problem. And on this side I got a couple little, you know, irritated spots, as you can see. So that's that. Let's rinse off. Before we dry off, we're going to use an alum block just to compare where there is more tingle, which side. Tingle, tingle. Nothing up, yeah, a little bit. Very little. Very little up here. Oh yeah, There's a little bit of some burning sensation, and it's gonna manifest itself in turning red here in a little bit. But overall, pretty good. And now the other side. That's the 41C side. I've tiny little bit here, but that's it. And then neck, nothing. Just a little bit here. But over here, it's pretty much the entire lower section of my neck. So I would say, even though this is all subjective observation, the 41C is a little milder than its clone, and you know, they can't deny that this is a clone of a vintage inspired open comb, you know, the typical 3-piece with the 2 posts, round posts. Very similar profile. Just it looks like, always pointing in the wrong direction. It looks like the head on the 41C is a little wider in profile than on the Yaqi here. But other than that, fairly similar. So it had a few seconds to soak in. So now we're going to use a aftershave made by Gillette. The Cool Wave. Never tried it before. I took a little whiff of it at the store. Have a little puddle here. How do I describe this? Masculine scent. Not too overpowering. Little fresh, crisp, viviant. That's what they describe here. And what's in this? Ingredients: alcohol, fragrance, PEG 60, hydrogenated castor oil, whatever that is. So mild scent, the typical alcohol-based aftershave, little burning sensation, especially if you have some nicks. But overall pretty nice. And to top it off, another cool product from Nivea. Especially down here we need it. That has a little bit more. What does it have? Doesn't say. It's not written on the bottle. And of course I already chugged the cardboard box. But it's tested by dermatologists. That's good. That's good. And it's made in Germany, it says. Yeah, Bayersdorf AG, Germany. Made in Mexico. Made in Mexico, of all places. So, we tried out the 41c on this side and the Yaqi on this side, and we established that the 41, I'm already getting confused, is a little milder than the Yaqi open comb. Perfectly usable. You know, maybe you have a little bit more resilient skin, not as sensitive as my skin, and you can perfectly run this every single day. I know that the 41c is really high up on my list, even for daily shave, because the less stuff there is, the less you have to, you know, blade buff and whatnot. And this goes really close immediately. So you get a really close first pass. And then the second pass is really just to clean up. With this one, even closer, we noticed that there was a little bit of difference, so a little bit less stuff left on the Yaqi side. But then the downside of this is that it gives me a little bit more irritation. The 41c side is perfectly happy. Over here we see a little bit of some irritation in my neck area. But you saw, we did with a grain, and then immediately after that we did against the grain. And it was possible with both of those razors. And if you just want to try the head for $6 or $7 from AliExpress and then use a Merkur handle, it's perfectly interchangeable. So that's that. Oh yeah, and my still dirty brush here, the Frank Shaving Badger. So now I have a proper Badger brush. Everything else I have Boar, synthetic, and now finally a pretty decent quality DS Cosmetic Badger knot. So now I can, you know, I can have an opinion about Badger brushes because I finally have used one. And this is going to be in the daily rotation here. So I will break this in. I know that those natural bristle brushes, they take a little bit a while until they really kind of open up and get softer and get a little bit softer in the tips too. And I will make sure that I always rinse it out really well. And I finally got myself a little stand. This is like the total cheapo from Amazon. But for most of those 24, 22 millimeter knots, I can now finally hang the brush upside down. So the soap actually, or whatever is left, doesn't get dry up down in the knot, but it actually comes out. All right, guys, so that's it. I hope you guys like this comparison between the 41 and the Yaqi open comb. I did like it. It's a good shave. We're really smooth. Now I can go to bed here pretty soon, say goodnight to the wife and the kids and all that, and be on day shift again tomorrow. All right, you guys, thanks for commenting all the time and giving me thumbs up and subscribing. Please stay tuned. There's more to come. We have lots more stuff coming or already here, backlogged material that we still have to try out, and we're going to do that together. All right, guys, take care. See you in the next one.